Tim Petrowich with Dateline and we're visiting with Marion head football coach Kerry Martin. Coach, first of all, last Saturday, wow, 48-13 over Harrisburg. I don't think a lot of people really expected that.
No, it was a big win. I think they're a very good football team, and it's one of those days. I think we played very well, and the kids responded to the change in the schedule very well, stayed focused, and we had a good day.
One of the things you've talked about is liking to play the game at a high pace. Coach Roper obviously noticed that, and he talked in the post game about the pace of the football game. When I went back and checked, 33 offensive plays in the first quarter, which led to 26 points and really set the tone for the way the game would go.
You know, I think a previous opponent of theirs had ran 36, I think, total for the game. And so to get 33 in the first quarter was even beyond our expectations. But we wanted to play at a fast pace, and I thought the kids responded very well and executed very well, considering we played super fast.
Knowing the way you run your offense, I was a little surprised that Harrisburg won the flip and deferred and gave you the opportunity to get on the board. I think that maybe changed their game plan ultimately, because you got you had the two stops. Each team had a stop, but you were the one to get on the board first and really force them to change their game plan.
Well, we felt like we had to get on the board, at least get a lead early, and not allow them to control the clock and the tempo of the game. And our defense just did an outstanding job. We got those stops that you and I had talked about last week that you need to get the ball back in our offense's hands and keep it out of theirs, because I know they love to occupy the clock and drive the ball, and they actually came out in some spread stuff, and that kind of surprised us.
Your team, you've talked about this and we've discussed this, the more players you get involved, the more effective you are. And you had the same guys running the ball, but again, we went back and looked, and I think 8 different guys caught passes, 3 different guys caught touchdown passes.
Right.
Actually, 4 different guys caught touchdown passes, because Juwan Tucker had a touchdown catch, Brant Hill had 2, John Dalton had 1, and Jake Weaver had 1. And again, that just makes this team so much harder to guard, because you distribute the ball to so many different places.
I agree with you. I mean, I think it's important that we even get more people involved than we have right now. And I just talked to 2 players yesterday about getting more involved in the game plan and trying to get them on the field more, and get them included in what's going on and what we're trying to achieve as an offensive unit. And so we're not satisfied with the fact that we've had some success spreading the ball around, but we want to do it even more.
I want to talk a little bit about Brant, because up until Saturday, everyone's pretty much expected on a big play it's going to be Juwan that gets the ball.
Right.
So many big plays in Saturday's game. It was Brant who was either the receiver or the intended receiver, and did such a good job making some key catches in the game.
He did a great job. He elevated his game, made some big plays for us, 2 nice touchdown catches, and going back and watching the film, how well he blocked. I mean, that's a big deal. Our perimeter blocking game, we tell the kids, if you can catch, you might get to play, but if you can block, we're going to find a place to put you. And I felt like he blocked really well, very unselfish. Balls being run away from him, he's getting downfield and blocking, and real proud of that effort. Ran good routes, made some big plays, and that really added to our success on Saturday.
Your team has been susceptible a little bit to the passing game. I think that might have been part of the reason why Harrisburg tried to pass the ball a little bit.
Yeah, could be.
What an effort by the defense.
Yeah.
They really only got the 1 touchdown against the first string offense, and that was just a little quick out that a couple of missed assignments allowed Henshaw to get to the outside and score. Did a really good job, because Roper is a capable thrower, and they've got some kids who can catch the ball.
Yeah, and they executed that really well. They threw a fast screen out there to Henshaw, and they got a good kick out and a good down block and opened up a seam, and we were caught on a stunt at the time. It happens when you stunt. You can get the right play called against any stunt. Can be a big play, and we gambled, and they caught us, and they executed it well. But outside of that, we did a nice job, I think, containing a very good quarterback, put some pressure on him, forced him out of the pocket some, and secondary did a really nice job.
They had 100 yards rushing. A team that is known for its ground game was held to 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, we've done a great job against the run all year. You go back and look at Capri Sloan and Matt Toon's rushing game. We've done a very good job against the run, and that continued. I was hoping that the defense would come in and continue being strong against the run, force them to throw the ball, and make them something beyond just one-dimensional, making them do something different. And they did something different, and I think our kids responded pretty well to it.
Okay, we're a third of the way through the season. grade your team, evaluate your team after 1/3 of the games.
Well, we're real happy. I'll give them a B after 3-0 start. I'm not going to give them an A, not yet, because there's still things on the film we feel like we can get better at, we can do better. If I have to give a grade, I give them a B. And it's a solid B. I think there's a lot of good things to celebrate as a program. But at the same time, it's not where we want to be. It's not good enough to go through the South 7 Conference and win the conference championship. It's just not. And they know that. There are things that we can build on. There are things that look good but not great. There are things that I think we can improve on. But we've just got to continue to be hungry, never get satisfied, and keep pushing.
You still continue to dominate in the turnover area. Don't believe, I think there was 1 turnover on Saturday, so I think you've got 2 for the season. And again, just the way that your team is valuing the ball and taking care of the ball.
Yeah, making good decisions, and I think, as you said, valuing the ball. It's a good way to say it. I think we've done that so far, and hopefully we can continue doing that. And we know that it's a week-by-week preparation thing. We got to continue stressing that and putting in their heads how big that's been in our success, and keep doing it.
The focus changes now as you head into week 4. It's the opening of the South 7 Conference season.
Right.
Your team is a 2-time defending conference champion, looking for that 3-peat in the South 7, and you open with a team that, always, regardless of what their record is and the way they've looked in previous games, they're always going to be an athletic team, and they're always going to be a challenge for you.
They play a tough schedule. Miller Academy and O'Fallon and Alton, they're playing big schools. They're playing schools in the 7, 8A category. Miller Academy out of St. Louis, Missouri. Their record, they're 1-2, but they're a good football team. They're very talented, big, got great speed. They have as much natural speed and so forth as we're going to see maybe all year long. So we know that they're a threat to score from anywhere on the field. They're a big play team. They want to score on big plays and sacks and fumble recoveries. And so we've got to take care of the ball, and we've got to create some turnovers and force them to punt.
One of the things that I saw on Saturday, which I think will help this team against a team like Cahokia, is that they follow their assignments. There were a lot of times when Harrisburg tried to run some misdirections, some reverses, some things like that. Guys stayed home.
Right.
And made their tackles because they didn't bite on what they saw initially in the play.
Yeah, Cahokia will do some gadgetry. They'll do some halfback passes and some reverses, trying to get the ball down the field or surprise you. And so we've got to continue being disciplined. And I think that's been a big part. I agree with you about our success. Is your defense has to know their assignments. They know their keys. They've studied the scouting report, and this week's no different.
Again, it's probably a game where, if you can get the ball and run a lot of plays, and you run in your NASCAR set where you try and get as many plays in,
right.
Again, conditioning will play a factor towards the end of the game, end of the first half, and at the end of the game as well.
Right. Well, we hope so. We're going to continue doing what we've been doing. We're not going to change much. We're just going to try to do it better, and want to keep the tempo high and do our best to execute what we do. And we've shortened down the game plan. We're not running a lot of different plays. It may seem like it, but we're not. We have some variations off the same plays, and we're going to keep doing what we do, and hopefully we can continue improving.
We've talked about little things, things that maybe people don't really see. A couple of them. First of all, I have to mention, when I got done with the game, I thought, wow, Henry didn't really do too good. I went back and added up, and he had almost 80 yards rushing.
Yeah.
So he's just so quiet when he gets his yards a lot of times.
He does.
You don't know how many he's actually getting.
Yeah, besides that, there's a lot of things about Henry you don't notice, and he's had a great year so far. But he's become a guy that's now standing out in their scouting reports, and they're doing things to stop him. We would set Henry up for a screen, and he attracted a lot of attention. So Henry's lack of huge numbers is setting up others for success, because when they set on the screen game to stop Hank's receiving in the screen game, it opened up guys like Brad Hill and Jake Weaver and others to catch some passes. So I think Henry's become, like Shaquille was at times, a bit of a decoy, attracting some attention that makes it easier for others to get away and get open.
I think that fits that would be the screen to John Dalton, because maybe Henry's not in there, he's going a different way.
Right.
All of a sudden Dalton gets that little pass, and it took about 2 blocks to give him a hole wide enough for me to run through.
And running hard, and he's done a great job all year for us now, and so yeah, I feel like that's, and Henry doesn't mind that. Henry wants to win football games, and of course he wants yards and wants carries and wants catches, but Henry wants to win first, and he'll still have his day because we lean on him pretty heavily. But Harrisburg did a nice job stopping the run game. In particular, they seem very focused on forcing us to throw the ball, so that's part of the reason we threw it so much.
Another little play. We actually saw the full punt team for the first time,
Right.
and sophomore Jordan Evans comes in, and especially on the second punt, which you commented to him about. They've got two guys back there, including Henshaw, who's very capable of running one back, and Jordan put it right in the exact right spot to prevent the return.
Yeah, he does a great job. Very coachable kid, our sophomore quarterback, and I think he's got a great future in our program. He's stepped up and took over the punting chore and does a great job with that, and I think he can do about anything I ask him to do. He's that kind of player.
I guess if there's one thing you'd like to fix, it's extra points.
Yeah, it's huge for us right now, and we've been fortunate. We've not had to, it's not hurt us yet, but we work on it. We're getting better at times. You know, we started off 2 for 2 last week, I think, and thought we had it fixed. But you know, we've hit some 2-point conversions, and that's big. Those have been key for us. We're going to keep working on it until we can be 100% of our extra points and our conversions. And if that means continuing to kick and work on that, or if that means going for 2 more often and being more consistent there, whatever we got to do. But we're putting together a lot of 2-point packages to go with, as well as continue to work on the kicking game.
And I guess Friday night, the Cahokia game, there is a forecast for rain. No storms or anything like that really, but the possibility of rain. Are you working on some wet ball drills and things like that?
Well, we always do. You know, we're always prepared for those types of situations, especially if the forecast is calling for it. Our kids practice in it. We practice in the rain. We'll do wet ball drills and dunk the ball in a bucket of water and continue to use it. And we use a ball that's going to be far wetter in practice than we'll ever see in a game. We use a worse ball in practice than a brand new ball we would use in a game. So we feel like psychologically we're ready to handle wet weather, inclement weather. We don't make it an excuse. Both teams have to play in it. I mean, someone's got to go out and win in it. And you know, it is what it is. It's part of the game. Until we all have dome stadiums, weather's going to be a factor sometimes, and we just can't let it be an excuse.
And back to the regular Friday schedule means the full package of atmosphere with the band and the pregame on Friday night and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be an exciting time Friday night for the conference opener.
I agree with you. You know, we had a great crowd come out Saturday, and it was kind of a playoff atmosphere. It was a good experience to play a Saturday afternoon game, actually, because you may end up down the road having to play a playoff game if we're blessed to get there. But there's nothing like Friday nights here, and we're looking forward to a great night on Friday.
Marion head football coach Kerry Martin. The Wildcats play Cahokia this Friday. For Dateline Marion, I'm Tim Petrowich.